All right, welcome to another Sci-Fi Journal presented by the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. And this show is for February, probably most of March 2024. I'm Mark Morriso, also hosting tonight are Calvin Watts III. Hello, Calvin.
Hello.
And hello, James Hinsey. All righty, and all right, gentlemen, let's start off with a little tube. No, we're not going to tube news. What do you want to do first? Want to do your segment first, James? Let's
Oh,
go with
sure.
Anime Daisuke. Why not?
Anime Daisuke,
Anime
yeah.
Daisuke. Okay, with James Hinsey ready. Go,
Go,
James,
James,
go.
go.
Anyway,
All right, fine,
all right.
sir. What do you have for us? What's new,
Okay,
cool, and groovy
so
in anime?
uh, Godzilla minus one, minus color was excellent. It also brought the gross income for the film over $100 million or something like that. Um,
Was it a black and white version in the
yeah,
theater? Is that what they
and it
did?
was
All right.
like for a week here at the end of January.
Okay.
Um, and Godzilla minus one was nominated for Best Visual Effects for the Oscars, the Academy Awards.
All right.
And let's see, and it was also nominated for a couple other awards, Effects Society's VES Awards and 71st Golden Reel Awards. Um, and it wasn't put forward by Japan for Best International Film. They chose another film for that to put
Mm.
forward, which is nominated for Best International Film for the Oscars, but it was nominated for uh, Best Visual Effects. So, and then also nominated for Best Picture for the 47th Japan Academy Film Prizes. So that's in Japan. We'll see how that goes. And it was also recently, the director was at the 29th Critics' Choice Awards, where it was also nominated for Best Foreign Language Film. And a lot of people wanted to take a picture with the director and his little maquette of Godzilla.
Mm.
So yeah, it's like, yeah, people love Godzilla. And Godzilla minus one is one of the best, films out there now.
Yeah, I like.
It was an absolutely awesome film, and I freely admit I never got to see Shin Godzilla. I finally ended up watching it a couple of days ago, and it was
mm,
incredible.
Right.
yeah,
Liked it
that
a lot.
it was very different, but
Mm.
I also it reminded me somewhat of some of the footage you seen during the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. Just how they treated that thing.
Right.
Yeah. Next, Netflix announced recently that they're doing a live action version of Parasite, Parasite the Gray. There was an anime, Parasite the Maxim, um, this about these aliens that kind of invade and infect people. And in the anime, this kid gets the alien in him, and he kind of somehow stops it from taking over his whole body. And so the alien is only stuck in one of his hands, Migi. Let's see, in his right hand, I think it is. Um, so he names it Migi, which is right,
Mm-hmm.
versus left is Hidari. So and Migi is kind of like one eyeball on the hand and kind of stands there on the fingers with an eyeball, whatever, and or on the thumb or something. And then is like he has to talk to it and negotiate with it about who it can eat, or consume or not, and stuff like that. And then they try to fight the other aliens that have taken over other people.
Mm.
So now this live action version is being produced in Korea,
Yep.
and it's about a young woman who's searching for her sister, and similarly, she's has to coexist with this alien and deal with the other aliens that are out there also.
Okay.
So um, so that's coming probably in let's see, in April. and will run till June. So this coming year, that'll be great to see.
Cool.
Um, Anime on Adult Swim, Toonami, they just started airing Ninja Kamui, very action-packed ninja anime show. But they are also showing it in the English dub version and the Japanese language version with English subtitle. So if you catch it at midnight, that's the English version. If you catch it at 3 a.m., it's the subtitle version. And if you are smart, you just record both of them and watch both.
Okay.
Um, Now, I don't understand why they don't do this, but secondary audio program, the SAP, which in many shows have a Spanish language audio track on your TV shows. You know, you can change your
Right.
audio
Yep.
on your TV shows or your DVRs or whatever you're using. So why can't they broadcast the Japanese language and you can turn on the, your closed captions and watch the Japanese language with the English subtitles with the
They
closed
could.
caption? But they have never done that until they actually, in this case, actually broadcasting in Japanese. Or they have done with certain specials when they did air something, some special film or something in Japanese language, and it wasn't a dub version, they would have English subtitles. But still not using the SAP. I don't know why.
Hmm.
In Japan, they've been using the SAP for years, for decades, for American shows. When I was in Japan in the 70s, I watched Soap, the sitcom, in English because my uncle was able to switch the audio channel to the English SAP
Oh, okay.
with, and they have their language dub. Um,
Yeah, like you were
so,
saying, the vast majority of SAP here has been used for like Spanish,
yeah,
and that's about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's so many other things you could do with it. And now with the extra bandwidth that they have for high definition, I mean, they could have multiple
yeah,
audio channels if they wanted to, but if it's not, if you can't monetize it or you can't find a way to profit from it, there's no real reason for them to do it.
Hmm.
right. I do enjoy watching in Netflix. I can see all the different languages that they dub their shows in. So everyone around the world basically can watch Netflix shows. Um, and they even they'll put the credits in at the end of a show to show all the different people doing work on it to do the voices, which is great. I kind of have to fast forward through it to get to the end of the show. I don't like to skip the credits at the end. um, and even with the live action One Piece, the Japanese voice cast in Japan who does the anime does the dubbing, the Japanese dub for the One Piece live action. So if you're used to those voices from the anime, you can watch at least through Netflix on the website. I'm not sure if other devices will allow it, but you can watch the Japanese language version of the American made live action One Piece. So I really like that too. I was watching it, that way. Um, let's see. The other thing I had was, and Calvin too can talk about this, the Funimation is closing down their streaming service and it's getting merged under Crunchyroll. And so this kind of merger thing, a lot of people who have a Funimation account are going to be moved over to Crunchyroll, or their accounts will get merged. And if you had um, some digital things on Funimation, they may not transfer.
Yeah,
Um,
so
yeah,
they're not going to transfer. So I guess you could buy instead of just using the streaming app, and Funimation had its own streaming app. You could buy like a digital version of whatever TV show or anime movie that you were watching, and if you went and got a physical version, which the aforementioned Shin Godzilla is a Funimation release, so it has a Funimation digital copy. On April 2nd, when this is all going to go down, Crunchyroll will not be supporting those digital copies. So if you have your physical copy, if you bought a physical copy, obviously that'll still work. But
Hmm.
anything digital is going to go by the wayside. And it,
Now, is it possible you could take, if you have a digital copy of a show right now, could you transfer that to a hard drive and just store it there for your own personal use in the future? So it would be kind of
no,
sort of
but
like
but
having
you
digital.
you you can take a DVD And with the right software, you can take a Blu-ray and
Mm.
you could transfer a copy of that onto a hard drive, which lots of people do.
Right.
You can do it with 4K stuff, but it's a
Yeah.
little more elaborate.
Yep.
It's
As long as
much
it's for
easier.
personal use. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
you have to you're supposed to have a physical copy of the original one,
Right.
the original thing. You make copies of your own stuff. You just
Mm.
can't have it illegally.
Right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I know there's ways if you have an account, you can download something to watch later instead of trying to stream it. Why, I think Netflix allows that if you have an app on your device,
Yeah,
it'll download.
a good many of the streaming apps nowadays, especially have like the higher tier, you can download it to your device. Mostly usually like a phone or like a tablet or your computer, and then you can watch it at at a different time. But why?
Yeah.
Mm.
Unless you're going like on vacation or something. But most of those things require internet access anyway. So
Yeah. Uh, so let's see. That's it. That's all I have for Anime Daisuke for this
Okay.
month.
Want to introduce Game Over?
Yeah. So let's go to Game Over with Calvin Watts the third.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
yeah, so again, going on like with the things and what we've talked about, and a lot of different online sites have been harping on the stuff and picking up the Crunchyroll Funimation news and coming out with the fact that even though Best Buy has stopped carrying physical media, Walmart's actually it looks like they're growing their content a little bit. They're now carrying exclusive steelbooks from like Lionsgate, and they haven't said going forward, but I know like the Marvels, which is actually about to come out this week, which is usually all the Disney Marvel stuff used to be a Best Buy exclusive. Well, now this is a Walmart exclusive, and probably going forward, I would think, and not that it's a whole lot of stuff coming out. You only have one Marvel movie this year, but that'll probably end up being a Walmart exclusive as well. But it's nice to see that physical media is still going to be around, and it's still kind of like the way to go.
Hmm.
Speaking of physical media, some stuff that's available now, and then we'll go into some stuff that's coming up. Now available, and by the time you guys are watching this, which will be in the middle of February, towards the end of February, the horror movie Thanksgiving by Eli Roth. If you remember when he, along with the guy that did From Dusk Till Dawn, Robert Rodriguez,
Yep.
when they did the
Yep.
Grindhouse thing back in like 2007, 2008, the drive-in homage thriller horror movies, they did a bunch of trailers for fake like horror movies, and they did one called Machete, which starred oh my god, thank you,
Danny
Danny Trejo,
Trejo.
Danny
which
Trejo.
actually made into a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But outside of that one, there was a trailer made for a horror movie called Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
which was really, really popular. And then years later, while it differs somewhat from the original trailer, they made a movie of it, and it came in and went. So that's available now. So if you're horror aficionados, you can go ahead and watch that. I mentioned briefly the Marvels. That's also available now, along with the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. If you
Wow,
want
that
to
was
go and
quick.
get that.
Yeah, my
Yep.
daughter Madison and I went to go see that. That was one of my, I guess it was like a Father's Day gift or something. Daddy daughter movie night. That was pretty good. I liked that. Yeah.
Arrow's special release this month, which I think we talked about briefly on the last show, but just in case I didn't, was the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan movies, Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer,
Okay.
which have been remastered in 4K Ultra HD with all the extras. That's available now. Also coming out are a couple of cult classics. Liam Neeson in Darkman is getting the 4K treatment,
Oh man, I
which
haven't
was a
seen that movie.
very
I haven't seen that movie in centuries.
very
Jeez.
underrated movie. It's a great movie.
Yep. You
So
feel so bad for the guy too. Now, how many
yeah,
did they do? Two of them?
they
How
did
many Darkman movies?
3, I want to say.
All
I
right.
think they did 3. And then
I might have seen the first two. I don't think I've seen the third one. I'll
I've
have to
seen the
look it up.
first 2. I'm not sure if I saw the third one. I might have.
All right.
And then one of the Aqua movies of 1989, Leviathan with Peter Weller, is
Yeah,
also
yeah.
getting
Yeah.
the 4K treatment.
All
That's a
right.
really good campy movie.
Yep.
Upcoming releases. And Wonka. I forgot about Wonka. Can't forget about
Oh,
Wonka. Wonka will also
that's
be
a quick
available by the
turnaround
end of
as
the month.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still in theaters too.
Hmm.
Some
Oh
places.
yeah. So yeah, I'll get to that a little bit. You want to talk about like a turnaround? So I'll skip over to April because they just announced one thing which I'm really kind of looking forward to. On April 9th, King Kong, the 1976 version,
Ah,
is getting a 4K remaster.
With
Now it's been
Jessica
out in
Lange.
Europe.
yeah.
Yeah, the World Trade Center, Jeff Russell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Kurt, no, not Jeff Russell. Jeff Bridges. Sorry, I
Jeff
figured it out.
Bridges. Yep.
Jeff Bridges and oh my God, who's the lady?
Jessica Lange, wasn't it?
Thank
No.
you.
Yeah.
And Charles Grodin was
Yeah.
So anyway,
It
so the
was
World Trade
excellent.
Center 1976 one, which is actually a really good movie in
It
its
was
own right.
good. Yep.
Hmm.
The 4K's version's been available in Europe for a couple of years now, so it's finally coming here to the US
Mhm.
so that should be a really good thing to look forward to.
Years ago, when that movie first came out, my family and I went to a trip at Universal Studios when they had the King Kong exhibit. So you had to actually go through the roller coaster with Kong and stuff, which was
Yep.
pretty cool because you got to go inside his mouth and they sprayed something on you that went by that smelled like bananas. It was the hookiest thing, but it was like, oh, this is so awesome. They still had Battlestar Galactica back then too. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
March 12th is going to be a huge physical media day. That's when, and pre-orders are out now. So if you wanted to get, we mentioned this before, but it's now definitive. James Cameron's The Abyss, True Lies, and Aliens will all be available that day. In addition, Aquaman 2: The Lost Kingdom will have its physical media release that day.
Hmm.
I just
And
watched
you
it
want
this
to talk
past
about
weekend.
just being in theaters, ISS, the International Space Station movie that literally just came out like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
will be available on Blu-ray that day.
Really?
I wanted to go see it. I went to go look for like, a movie showtime, and
Mhm.
if it was even playing here, it was literally like a week. It's
I
already
didn't
gone.
even know that. Yeah.
But
I
you can
remember
go
seeing
get it on demand.
I remember, are we getting to the point now where there's a movie that shows up in the theater and then it gets to physical media and then it gets to streaming because streaming is becoming more popular? Is that what they're doing to us now?
No, it's almost it's actually it's the opposite.
It's the
It'll
opposite?
go from the movie theater, and then
Yep.
depending on for whatever reason, it'll go to streaming like video on demand, not necessarily like if you have Netflix, you can get it on Netflix, but it'll
Yeah.
go to like
Yeah,
video
that's
on
what I
demand.
meant.
You can buy a digital copy, and then the physical media comes out. Like ISS, I could go rent it like right now if
Right.
I wanted to through like Apple TV or Amazon.
Mm.
It's just kind of weird how, I mean, it's literally only been a couple of weeks, but they're all over the place.
Right. Yeah. So,
And you don't know, which is kind of going back to physical media. I was at the Super Bowl party yesterday with the O'Neills, members of the Sci-Fi Club, and their son Alex, who's also a member, a really cool guy, was talking about they had a trailer for the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, which looks
yes.
incredible, by the way.
Yep.
And he's like, he hasn't seen any of the newer versions of the trilogies. He remembers the classic stuff from like the 60s and 70s,
Mm.
but the ones that started out in 2011 with James Franco.
Yeah.
Am I
James
getting that right?
Franco, Tom
Yep.
Felton,
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
and Andy Serkis.
So for some crazy reason, the second movie is available for streaming, and you think on Max, but the first one and the third one are not. You either have to rent them or buy them either digitally or go get like a physical media copy. And so if you just go to like any website that tracks this stuff, you can literally see each month the streaming services are either adding like tens, if not hundreds of titles, and also taking away tens or hundreds of titles. They actually have websites where you can go and search if you want to see it streaming, and you'll come up and it'll say whether or not it's streaming, whether or not it's streaming for free. You need a subscription. Like Just Watch is a really good place for doing something like that. But yeah, it's mind boggling it's nowhere near as simplistic as it's supposed to be. And the streaming service is supposed to streamline all this,
Hmm.
and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Stuff to think about. Anyways,
Yep.
on to gaming. Not much going on in the way of news, but something that Microsoft really needs to address this starting last week, and it's really kind of picked up steam along content viewers and whatnot. There's a lot of rumors going around that Xbox, because they're being outsold pretty badly by the PlayStation 5. There's rumors that they're going third party, which would mean just doing software and then dropping console support, so there wouldn't be any more Xbox coming out, which they haven't denied or said that it's actually true. There's supposed to be an upcoming press thing coming out where Phil Spencer, who's the head of the Xbox division, will probably address some of this stuff. And there's also talk about having the whole reason why they bought Bethesda Softworks that does Skyrim and Fallout, and the reason why they just completed their merger with Activision was a lot of the stuff they figured would have exclusive content for Xbox that they could drive stuff there. But now there are rumors going around about not having those exclusive to Xbox anymore and actually putting them on the PlayStation, which would be huge in many, many ways, shapes, or forms. But I don't really want to speculate. I'd rather deal with facts. So once we know something more concrete, then we can talk about it.
Okay.
Last but not least, a couple of gaming-related cons that are coming up. Pintastic New England, which is going to be in Marlborough, Mass. on April 11th to the 14th, so Thursday night through Sunday. James, it's at the Marlborough. What's the hotel?
The Best Western Royal Hotel.
Okay. So
Is that
basically
the same one as last year?
It is the same one as last year.
Okay.
They're going to have an Elton John tribute person there. They're giving a concert. Going to be a lot of cool stuff there. It's early this year, but it's because the organizers couldn't get any other date for the year. So they're trying to hopefully get it back to a June release. So 2025, the dates and location are kind of up in the air. So as soon as we know something, we'll let you know. But for now, this year, April 12th to the 14th, it'll be in Marlborough, and you can go and enjoy it and have lots of fun.
Good.
Also, CT GamerCon, which usually happens in March, it's a little bit later this year at Mohegan Sun. Mitch Halleck, who does Terrificon, is running that. April 6th and 7th. So same thing, they'll have tournaments, they'll have, lots of gaming stuff. They usually have a bunch of gaming related, little mini concerts and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. If you're into gaming at all, I highly recommend going, and hopefully we'll be able to go and cover the event for you like we have the past few years.
Right.
That's all I got for Game Over.
Okay.
So let us go on to Tube News now with Mark Morrisseau.
Yeah, that's me. Okay. Avatar: The Last Airbender begins February 22nd on Netflix, which is going to be much, much better than the M. Night Shyamalan, whatever his name is, version.
And you know this how?
Based on the reviews and the clips that I've seen, it looks awesome.
Okay.
That's how I'm basing it. So
it would have to be pretty bad, and it would probably still be better than the Shyamalan's piece of.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyways,
and I remember my daughter was a huge Avatar fan. I remember her being crushed when she saw that movie. Go, oh, Dad, what a stinker that thing was. So yeah. So hopefully, February 22nd, you'll be able to watch that on Netflix. Agatha, Darkhold Diaries. It's gotten at least 3 different names since they first started this series. On Disney Plus in late 2024 with Catherine Hahn as Agatha Darkness, left over from the WandaVision series. What a strange show that was. Did you guys see WandaVision?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I liked it, but it was definitely out there.
I mean, you had no idea from one episode to the next what the hell was happening in that show, which is why it was so much fun.
I love the homages, though, to the old shows, like Lucille Ball show, Dick Van Dyke
Yeah.
Show and
Yep,
things like
yep.
that.
And how it started in black and white and eventually went to color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So that one hopefully has a final name, Agatha Dark Old Diaries, Disney Plus, and later on this year. Doctor Who has returned. You did the Christmas special, but now we're going to have new episodes coming in May. Unfortunately, there are only 8 of them. And the young lady, Millie, who's portraying the Doctor's companion, is already set to be leaving the show after one
That,
season.
that was quick.
That was very quick. Yep. Um, she's being replaced, and I don't have the name of the actress. I'll put it up on the screen later on, but she's being replaced by another actress. There's some controversy about it because this actress is, I believe, either she's African American or Hindu, but there's some controversy because the white girl's being pushed out. I don't know. There's some stupid woke stuff going on about it, which I think is ridiculous. It all comes down to most of the Doctor Who actors. There's been this tradition since like the 10th Doctor that you only play the role for no more than 3 seasons, and then you move on and do something else. And that's pretty much what these guys are doing. They've the first season of Shooty Gatwa, the Doctor's already in the can. They've already started working on the second season. So it makes sense if there's going to be a replacement companion that he or she is already introduced, or they make plans to introduce this new person. And then the third season will come along and they move on to other things. So that's what's going on in the world of Doctor Who. The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, that's on AMC. That's the finally the love story between Rick and Michonne that we've been waiting for. Ever since they got separated in the regular Walking Dead series, they're finally getting back together in this one. So if you're still interested in The Walking Dead, which I am not, so I'm not going to be watching it, that series is coming up on AMC.
Yeah,
I'll get around to it.
What's
I love
that?
the Walking Dead series.
You like The Walking? Yeah.
I'm catching up on Fear the Walking Dead
Okay, that's
right now.
done. That's finished.
I know,
Yep.
but I'm like a season and a half behind.
Which is good, so you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
like always catching up.
Yeah. And on the DVR, I have the Daryl Dixon one with him
Yep.
in France,
Okay.
and the Maggie and Negan one in New York City.
Mhm.
I kind of know what, that they're a little bit at the beginning of what they do, but
Right.
haven't watched the whole things yet. But
Okay.
that's on my to-do list.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of Daryl Dixon. I've seen the first 2 episodes of New York City with Beacon.
Yeah.
I want to finish that just because I want to see what happens to Beacon.
Yeah.
And then I have no plans on watching any more Walking Dead. It's like I'm filled up with Walking Dead, but still, it's well produced. You got to give them that at least.
Yeah.
So it's a good show. If you like zombies, check it out. There's a series on Netflix coming out in April called Dead Boy Detectives. Charles Rowland and Edward Payne decided not to enter the afterlife, but stay on Earth and investigate crimes that involve supernatural stuff. And James, you and I were talking about that earlier. You said there were some Dead Boy Detectives that were featured on another show.
Yeah. So it's a DC Comics property.
Mhm.
They had the Dead Boy Detectives on the Doom Patrol for an episode, but and it was rumors that they were doing this to do a spin-off. But then this series is a different cast, so different actors for this series, and so you can't really call it a spin-off from Doom Patrol. But it did intrigue me as like, oh, this is a neat concept, and but the trailer for this series looks really fun.
Right. Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing it.
It's got a kind of a combination of old-fashioned Scooby-Doo slash Ghostbusters slash Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Yeah.
slash paranormal along those lines. So
Yeah.
if you're into that kind of genre and it's comedy.
Yeah.
So if you're into that,
yeah, and it's set in England. I think
Yep.
it's set in England. So it's like, different perspective on how, how they handle these
Right.
kinds of things,
yeah,
as a
and
show.
yep,
stuff.
and the special effects look pretty awesome too. And it's 2 dead guys dealing with dead people. So that's how they deal with it. So, which is good.
And
So
they rope in a girl into helping or
yes,
participating in their
Yeah.
detective agency.
yeah, which is a lot of fun. So that's good. Halo Season 2 has started on Paramount Plus. I don't know, have you guys had a chance to check it out?
Not season 2 yet, but I did watch season 1, and I
Okay.
was not having really played the game at all,
Hmm.
but am familiar with, some of the stories and the universe. It's like, wow, this was really great.
Right.
So
It wasn't the season itself was good. You kind of take it with a grain of salt. They did go. They used a lot, a fair amount of the universe and the history of the Halo video game, and basically it all became around, like basically like the first game and like the prequel game, which was like the Fall of Reach.
Mm.
But they did stray away from it and took a lot of liberties with the product. This season, supposedly they're going back to a more back to basic stuff, and it's supposed to be much more closer to the storyline in the video game. So we'll see.
Mm. Yeah, we'll check it out. Okay. Did I ever tell you my Xbox story with Halo? I had Halo on the original Xbox, played it for a while until I got stuck in the flood and I couldn't get out. So I stopped playing the game. I've never finished the original Halo game because I couldn't get out of the damn flood. I guess just kept going around and get eaten by these heads coming at me and all that. So I said, you know what? Game doesn't supposed to be fun. This one's frightening. This one is frustrating the shit out of me. So
that was definitely a frustrating. I remember playing that. I'm like, okay, this is coming along. I'm like, what the hell are these things? And yeah,
they stupid eyeball heads
Yeah.
coming at you,
Yeah.
And then if you save the game at a certain point, you try to go back earlier. No, you already did that, so you got to face them all over again. It's like, no thanks, I'm done.
Yeah, that's when I go on YouTube and check out game, playthroughs.
Right. Yeah.
I look at watch some playthroughs, let's see if there's a cheat code or something. I don't know.
Okay.
or just switch to an easier level, in easier
Yeah.
mode. You could do that too.
Yeah. Well, my problem was I was playing in the easy mode, so I still couldn't finish the darn thing. How sad am I? Okay. But anyway, that's my Halo story. So, but Halo's worth checking out. As we tape, the first 2 episodes of season 2 are out, so you can check those out on Paramount Plus. And then finally, some sad news. Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, and more recently, he was Grief Karga in Star Wars The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, passed away on February 1st of 2024. He was 76 years old.
Yeah, kind of unexpected. It wasn't a lot of movies over the years. He started his own hit movie called Action Jackson.
Yep.
Great part of Predator, playing the part of Dylan, the
Yeah.
CIA undercover agent guy. Very underrated actor, and he will sorely be missed.
Yep. Yep. He was a good guy. All right. And that's all I have this month for Tube News. Let's move on to the wonderful world of movies and a segment we call Popcorn Previews.
Guys, whatever's in there, it's big and it's moving fast. Drive. Go, go,
Guys, you gotta get out of here. Do you hear me?
It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler. If you feel it, chase it! I said if you feel it, chase it! All right, here we go. Oh, she's perfect!
She's gorgeous.
You thought you could destroy a tornado.
We never had a chance.
You want one? You don't face your fears. You ride them.
We got twins! Twins!
got it? Nope. The best way to bring folks together
Something has changed within me.
is to give them a real good enemy.
You're green. I am.
Something is not the same.
Something just takes over me. And when it does, bad things happen. Once you learn to harness your emotions, the sky's the limit.
Bring her to me.
Don't be afraid. I'm not afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
It's okay. I'm here. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
Look!
My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Your blood comes from dukes and great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
Well, I'd very much like to be equal to you.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
Deal with this prophet. Send assassins.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through. My allegiance is to you. Do you believe me?
This is a form of power that our world has not yet seen. The ultimate power.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
Silence!
is how they enslave us! You are not prepared for what is to come.
All right, gentlemen, finally, do we have any shout outs or any news or any other good stuff? As we tape, we're supposed to be getting a ton of snow. We haven't had a lot of snow in 2 years here in Rhode Island, but we're supposed to be getting like what, 5 to 10 inches or something like that.
Yep.
So
At least in this area.
at least in this area, I have no school tomorrow, which is so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
What?
Calvin,
So-
Happy birthday to Sci-Fi Journal co-host Calvin Watts on his 55th birthday.
Really?
Yay.
when is that coming up?
Monday.
Monday. Oh, all right. I'll make sure I put everything on social media so we all know.
Yeah.
Great. I'm thrilled. Yes, I am now AARPH. No shout outs, but I will not be at Pintastic this year. Not completely. I'm hoping to go up on the Thursday just to kind of check it out. But Kat and I will be going on a cruise to Bermuda for that week during
Very nice.
April vacation. So we will not be attending Fantastic. It's going to be the first one that I mostly miss, which is going to suck. So hopefully we will still have coverage. We're working on, for those of you who are watching, having coverage because we covered Fantastic every year. I definitely want that to continue. I know James is up there, but James will be working. But we'll figure something out. They've been really good to us over the years, and it's always a lot of fun. And hey, pinball can't go wrong.
Doesn't get better than that. Yeah.
In June, we will have a table at Rhode Island Anime Con.
Yes, we will. Yep.
Awesome.
So yeah, we'll be there, and we'll have people at their table, and we'll do some hopefully interviews, some good interviews and stuff.
Yep. So if you are a big anime fan, make sure, and you're going to Rhode Island Anime Con, stop by and check out the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club / Sci-Fi Journal table.
Okay.
Yep. And let's see. In July, I'm running the Masquerade at the North American Science Fiction Convention in Buffalo.
Very nice.
Buffalo, New York. It's whenever the Worldcon is outside North America, they have a NASFIC in North America. So I've never been to Buffalo. I've ridden through it on a bus one time traveling across country, but yeah, so that'll be interesting.
So a couple of things for you. Go to the Anchor Bar if you like buffalo wings and have the original buffalo wings.
Hank Bar.
If you've never been to Niagara Falls, definitely take the half-hour ride out and go see Niagara Falls in person. It is something else. If you have your passport and you have time, go to the Canadian side. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And you won't have lake effect snow, so there you go.
Yeah, I know. In July, it'll be late July. The other thing too, I think on the Canadian side would be cool to see is where they filmed Superman, Superman 2, right? The Niagara scene, and Wonder Falls, the TV series that was on years ago, was filmed. It was supposed to be the American side, but it was actually filmed on the Canadian side also. So let's see. That's it. I think I have for the moment.
For the moment, okay. I don't have any shout out.
Northeast Comic Con.
Yeah.
Northeast Comic Con got some great guests. We have 3 members of the of that show. Let's see. Let me just.
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains. Yes.
Oh yeah, that show.
Yes.
I'm glad you remember because people would have been watching this like, what the hell is he talking about?
I know, and some really cool. I wasn't.
Schlock from the Go-Go's going to be there.
Oh yes, the drummer from the Go-Go's.
Okay.
And then I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but Bailing or Bailing, who's been in a bunch of movies over the years, including The Crow.
Okay.
She's there as a featured guest.
Yep.
What a strange actress she is. Oh my goodness. She's had some pretty funky roles over the years.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And plus, I'm running karaoke again. And we're doing something else. It was like cosplay idol. So we're gonna have like these cosplayers, and they're gonna be doing like a dance thing with music, and um, so that'll be interesting to see, sort of our own little idol show, cosplay idol show.
Yeah,
So yeah,
cool.
and yeah, that's
All
it.
right.
All right, sounds good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Okay, if you want to get in touch with us, we have a website. Yeah, our website. We have a website, risfc.org. Check it out. We have news we post there constantly. We also have Facebook pages for the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club and for Sci-Fi Journal. We just made the decision as a group to go to quarterly meetings. So we're meeting in one spot. We're meeting in March, and we're having a picnic in June, and then we're going to be meeting sometime in October for Halloween, and then like 4 times a year. But in between, we'll be doing a whole bunch of movie trips and all the conventions that we mentioned and some other things. So check out all our social media for all that information. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and tell all your friends so that they can check it out as well. Okay, is that going to be it?
It is.
That is. Okay, thank you very much for
All right.
watching Sci-Fi Journal. We appreciate it. And we will see you sometime soon. Bye. Don't get stuck shoveling all the snow. But I live in Florida.